and we'll let you know when your minute is up.
We look forward to maintaining peace talks. A neutral French location will facilitate this event. The security of France will be increased for the protection of all persons present. We are currently looking into the increased trade over the USSR and Europe. In addition, we are taking into the consideration the idea of an interconnected European army. We are further discussing the details of this topic.
Any questions from IPD?
How would an interconnected European army deal with countries that do not get along with each other?
We are further developing our response to that topic. So.
Are you concerned about members of the Warsaw Pact seeing a united European army as hostile, or considering the formation of one as a hostile action?
We wouldn't plan to do the European army instantly. It would just connect. It would be an interconnected all of the European armies collectively.
Is there any threat risk if you were to increase trade with the USSR?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
Are there any other questions from the IPD? Okay. The delegate from the US.
The global stage has seen a massive shift in the potential collapse of the USSR, and the world is just now recovering from the threat of nuclear war. With the steps Mr. President has taken, the world no longer has to worry about the mutually assured destruction. The threats of nuclear proliferation have quelled, with President Bush showing great diplomacy and successfully convincing the USSR to cooperate with the United States concerning our nuclear intelligence. Time and time again, the United States has proven itself unyielding and strong. Now he confers with his cabinet members on the next best course of actions to make when it comes to foreign relations, especially concerning satellite states and the Middle East. At the moment, the United States is making sure that the Middle East is stable. However, we have not decided what direct action to take. We are focusing on finishing up securing the Eastern European crisis before we tackle issues in the Middle East. We do look forward to pursuing Middle East policy in the future, so no more lives are lost and progress can be made. Nuclear crisis averted, the Soviet Union crumbling, the economy recovering, trade deals made. This is what has defined the president's tenure so far. Now the president has greater goals. He is working to transition the world to a new world order. He's working to save the world from crises that face it. That's why he is announcing his candidacy in the 1992 election. President George H.W. Bush has greater goals for the United States and for the world. Under his leadership, he believes that the nation can be taken to new heights. The economy will boom, the world will be peaceful, and the United States, under President Bush, will lead it.
Is there a plan in place for recovering Soviet nuclear arms if the Soviet government collapses?
Yes, under the Bush Economic Development Plan. On the issue of the USSR, the U.S. Cabinet has passed many resolutions regarding this. The President and Gorbachev have signed START to secure the nuclear future of the world. We have also passed an immensely comprehensive economic plan that addresses economic issues through the Bush Economic Development Plan. In the Eastern European community, we have also negotiated deals that will greatly benefit the United States' economy in the future.
Does the U.S. government have a backup plan if President Bush is not reelected and a new party comes into office?
I am not at liberty to discuss.
Does the USSR still pose a threat to the United States?
I would say that we are working on just facilitating more peace, and I would say that it is not as much of a threat currently.
There's time for one more question.
Has the progress that the UNGA delegates of the United States and USSR moving towards a gradual reduction of nuclear arms, does that hold true to what is occurring in the cabinets of both countries, or are you not complying with what the UN delegates are trying to pass resolutions on?
I'm not really sure what you're asking.
So essentially, in the UNGA, the USSR and the USA are collaborating on a resolution that would have both the USSR and the USA gradually and proportionately reduce their arms. Are you actually going to comply by that if it is passed, or
I would have to discuss further with my other government before being able to give you a proper answer.
Great, thank you. Delegate.
Hello all. In view of Mikhail Sergeyevich Gorbachev's inability, for health reasons, to carry out the responsibilities of President of the USSR, and in accordance with Article 127, Section 7 of the USSR Constitution, the responsibilities of the President of the USSR have been transferred to Vice President of the USSR, Gennady Yanev, beginning August 19, 1991. We will not be taking questions at this time. Thank you.
And the delegate from Ukraine.
Ukraine has been focusing very heavily on its domestic affairs recently, and it is very proud of all of its accomplishments, both from an economic perspective and a social perspective. We have greatly diversified our industry recently. We have also diversified our energy portfolio. Our school system is improving, as we see this as something that is very essential to our future. And we are being very accommodating of the fact that in Ukraine there is a large Ukrainian-speaking population as well as a Russian-speaking population. We do not believe that these divisions within our populace are very important, and we do not believe that they negate the resolve of the Ukrainian people to advance and to improve our economy. Ukraine has also collaborated with many countries and spoken with leaders of many other countries, including the United States, Belarus, and our Vice Prime Minister is currently on a tour visiting Germany, China, and Saudi Arabia. However, at this time, we are not at liberty to disclose which discussions we have had with these nations. I can take questions at this time. Yes.
Since you said your vice prime minister is currently visiting China, Saudi Arabia, and other countries, what are you trying to get out of having a difficult relationship with them?
Ukraine is not at liberty to disclose the nature of its discussions with these foreign countries right now. Yes.
How are the relations between the Ukraine and Russia looking right now?
There's not a lot of tension currently between Ukraine and Russia that will cause any imminent problems between the two republics. Yes.
Has Ukraine agreed to sign the treaty that Russia passed recently, the new Union Treaty?
Ukraine is yet to decide whether to accept or reject the treaty that Gorbachev and the USSR have proposed. It is yet to make a decision on that. Yes.
If Ukraine were to choose to not go along with the treaty that the USSR has proposed, would that cause a threat to Ukraine from Russia?
The Ukrainian cabinet is currently deliberating whether to accept the treaty proposed by the USSR, and it is not at liberty to disclose the nature of the implications that it believes would come out of its decision. Yeah.
You mentioned that the Ukrainian industry is being greatly diversified. My question is, has there been any international funding involved in Ukraine's recent economic uptake?
Ukraine's economic uptake is mostly a result of its domestic work that it is very proud of. It is not a result of collaboration with any foreign nation.
Thank you very much.